fixing the subscriber's wiring harness for his Magnum that Scat Pack swapped, but the wiring was just like a bunch of stuff was cut, and it pretty much just needed to be gone through, but he couldn't find a wiring harness. So I had an SXT wiring harness, and it's just turned into like 24 hours of wiring, which is a pain. But tomorrow I'll be done with it, which will be nice. The transmission, he said, will be here tomorrow, and then we'll pull the engine, put the new transmission in, put the new diff in, put fluids in them. Then I'm going to put the wiring harness in the car, pull the dash out, redo a bunch of stuff with that. Um, some of the wiring is behind the HVAC controls, so I'm going to have to run the new engine bay harness when the engine's out, fix all that stuff, and then finally be able to put everything back in. But I'm going to wait to loom the interior wiring harness until the car starts. So once it starts, I'll loom it up. But if I need to do any additional troubleshooting, I don't want to have to de-loom a harness that I just had unloomed. So I'll just put everything, secure everything with zip ties, and it'll be good to go. Let's see. I wonder why the comments are so small. Howdy, what's going on? Good evening from Lakeland, Florida. What's up? From Texas, what's going on? Do you scrap? I mean, some stuff, after I get enough stuff built up, I take it to the scrap yard, especially burnt wheels. I just bought 2 burnt diesel trucks from the tow yard. I bought an Explorer for the engine for the Ranger, and I also might be getting I think it's like a 64, maybe earlier Cadillac hearse, but I'm still debating on getting it because it's really big. It weighs a lot. I think it has the Cadillac 500 in it, but it's a big car, and I'm not exactly sure what I'd do with it or what engine swap I'd put in it. So I could put like that Holly 600 big block in it, but those are really expensive, and I need to finish the Charger first before I go spending. I think they're like $25,000. Let's see. Only 30 people in here. What is up today? Oh. So I've been pretty much doing this all day yesterday, or half a day yesterday, and probably half a day today. But this is the good wiring harness, and all I have left to do is the front door on the passenger side, rear door on the passenger side, and then connect some stuff to the fuse box. And all that really happened was the guy he bought the harness from cut all of these plugs because he just hardwired them into his doors, and that doesn't work for me. So I just had him order some charger door harnesses, because then you could just plug them in and it's really clean, so you don't have to have all this stuff cut up and then soldered together and spliced, and it's so much easier. And then you just use charger window controls, and it's a lot cleaner. It looks clean, it works better. Then you have auto up and down. Yeah, and then you don't have a bunch of stuff that's cut. And I think this stuff being cut also is causing issues, because in the rear doors on Chargers, they have the RF module sensors. So your keyless entry won't work if you don't have those sensors. Plus, a bunch of other stuff was cut. And I think it was just giving the car a bunch of other issues besides the transmission being completely smoked and the diff and stuff like that. But hopefully hopefully this resolves the issue. Let's see. I need to work on my truck. I have an '05 Ram. Nice. Let's see. Dodge stole your name for the new truck coming out. Yeah, I saw that they did that, but that new truck that's coming out is just like it looks so bad. It's like they're they're starting to make worse and worse and worse looking cars now. Instead of like since like 2000, I'd say 2014, all the cars started to look better. Now they're like going backwards. They're all gonna look like Grand Cherokees did in like the 90s. Let's see. Let's see. I know, right? Yeah, it's just it's pretty interesting the way that they're moving forward with all their new their new model line. Oh. Where am I from? Um, I'm in Colorado, but once this stuff is done with the subscribers wiring and getting his tranny fixed and getting the car fixed, then I have the stuff for the brake lines and everything for finished for the charger. So I'll be able to throw all that stuff together and finally be able to make a little bit of progress on the car after 2.5 months of not really making much. But that's what happens when you outsource stuff. 32 people. Let's see. Do you know a lot about trucks and cars? I mean, I know some stuff about them. It's just whatever I don't know, I pretty much just teach myself, or the process of trial and error. Let's see. Can I buy a different style back Rampage sticker to put on my white 30-ounce Zeddy cup? I need one in white to put on my, what is that? Fitty back window. Oh, F-150 back window. Style Rampage stickers, like the ones I have for sale on my store. It's literally in the link in the, I think it's on the side of like my YouTube channel, or maybe it's in like that little column. There's some stickers available through there, but also I've been thinking about making some larger ones as well. Update on the station wagon. Pretty much been waiting for parts and a bunch of issues with parts, getting incorrect brake lines 2 times, took 2.5 months. Then I had to order all the stuff to fabricate all my own brake lines, which wasn't that difficult, but still was pretty time consuming. And then helping a bunch of friends out and getting all that stuff done. So now I should next week, probably the end of this week, I'll have some time. But I also need to strip that Cummins that I got in, and that F350 and that Explorer for the engine for the Ranger. And then I want to get those diesel trucks stripped, just so, because they're both burnt, but I want to get the engines and transmissions out of them. And the axles. I want to put, I'm not sure which axles I want to put in the Jeep, but I might end up putting the F350 axles in the Jeep, and maybe that 6.7 Cummins in the Jeep, and keep it 4-wheel drive. So I think that'd be kind of cool. I'd really love to get rid of that 4-liter. Plus, if I did it with a 6.7 Cummins, it's still an inline six. I think they're relatively the same length. and then it'd make like 450 horse and like 1,000 foot-pounds of torque, and the axles would actually support it, so it'd be kind of funny. Let's see. Let's see. Everyone hit the like button. Thanks. Okay, I'll look. Thanks. What's your plan for your first Magnum wagon? Well, the first one is the Scat Pack one, and it's just pretty much like a storage, kind of like a storage for parts. I'm not exactly sure if I'm going to do anything with it, but I have the blue one. I'll have the red one swapped pretty soon. Once the wiring harnesses come in, I should have, by that time, I'll have all the undercoating done, the engine bay painted, everything ready to go. I've already done all the body modifications or the chassis modifications. So the Hellcat swap will bolt into it, and everything, all the wiring will run, everything will plug in, everything will mount up. And that's, very time consuming to do that because you have to modify a bunch of holes, cut a bunch of extra holes, make square holes round. It's, I have a whole video that I'm going to edit of all the modifications that you need to do to get that swap in the car. Let's see. Hi, Dave from Australia on holidays in Washington. Nice. You two taught me a lot about cars. I love to learn different things about vehicles. Awesome. Let's see. Nice to see you online. Do you have any ideas for a Scat Pack charger as far as horsepower and torque gains? Also, do you have any stickers for your channel I could put on my car? I don't know if I have any channel stickers available yet. I might. If you look on the, in the YouTube store on my channel, I'd scroll through there. I need to look tonight to see if I actually have stickers for the channel logo. I thought I did, but I'm not 100% sure. I know I have stickers for the Rampage logo on there and a bunch of other stuff, but I'm not 100% sure on the channel stickers. But in the next week or so, I'll definitely add some to the store. What's up, Dave? Not much. What's going on? How and when did you meet Sarah Entune? So I met Sarah probably 5 years ago, and it was kind of funny because I hooked up my trailer, I hooked up my trailer to my truck, and I was going to San Francisco to get a FDRX7 from this guy. That was like a complete project. And I got there. He ended up pretty much wasting my whole day. He said he didn't have the title. Then he's like, I need to go to my bank to get the title. And then he had to like go to the DMV to get the title in his name. And after like looking at the car, I was like kind of stoked about it. But it was, he wanted 15 grand for it. 5 years ago, I mean, that wasn't really that great of a deal. It was originally an automatic car. It was a 92, which really isn't a desirable year or a desirable, it was an automatic. So it really wasn't a desirable car. So I'm sitting there just kind of like chilling in my truck, just surfing Facebook Marketplace. And I'm like, maybe I should look in LA. I feel like there's more fast cars in LA and more import stuff going on down there. So I start looking Facebook Marketplace in LA. I find a 1995 original manual FD Brilliant Black R2. I believe it's an R2. Really rare car. I think it's one of like 190 or something like that. The guy wants 20 grand for it. I call him up. I'm like, I'm in San Francisco. I'm looking at this other FD. This guy's kind of just wasting my time. I was like, will you take 18? I'll be down in 4 hours. He's like, yeah, head down. So I head down there, get the FD. And I don't know if I was probably already messaging Sarah back and forth. I'm not 100% sure, but I think we were already talking on Instagram. So I'm like, I message her. I'm like, I'm in LA. I'm going to be heading towards Tucson. It's like the fastest route back home to Colorado. And I had already been driving. I drove straight through to San Francisco and then straight through to LA. Didn't sleep at all. I was like, hey, could I maybe crash at your place? And a lot of YouTube people are kind of weird about that. It doesn't make sense when you already have a following why some YouTubers won't let other YouTubers stay at their house, because I never have an issue with it. And certain YouTubers I've, hung out with and actually stay at their places don't have an issue with it either. So I messaged her. I was like, is there any chance that I could sleep on your couch for maybe a couple hours, because I've been driving for like I've been up for like 35 hours at that point. And yeah, she messaged me back. She's like, yeah, just come down. Here's my address. And you know, this led to that. And now I would say we're pretty good friends. I always appreciate, I always enjoy helping Sarah out. She has a lot of cool projects. At that time, she was working on the MR2 and her Subaru. Little Sarah was there. Um, yeah, it's, just been a really good time. I mean, it's just not I don't know. It's hard to find. I'd say it's hard to find good friends that aren't just out to. I've dealt with a lot of friends that are just kind of out to use their friends as like a stepping stone, or use them, or something like that. And you know, at this point, I think I've kind of weeded all those friends out, and the ones I have left currently are really good. I mean, it's I have, Sean's my friend. We do a bunch of stuff together. Sarah, Charlie, um, you know, Chris, a bunch of other people. My old friend Nate from high school. But it's just like, to me, I'd rather have good friends than a bunch of them. So I mean, I just keep it kind of simple. I like helping friends out. Like I went down and helped Chris swap a BRZ engine in his car. It ended up having, he ended up buying a bad engine. He just got another one. So I might end up flying down there something if he needs help, and help him throw that in. Probably take 30 minutes because we're actually pretty good at it now. But yeah. Um, let's see. Um, Hi, Dave. What's going on, Mike? Any updates on the black gray Charger? Black. I don't have a black or gray Charger. Any FD content coming soon? Most likely, yes. I need to get that car running and driving again. It's, the Hellcat Magnum has been consuming almost 100% of my time, and just like all these little knickknack things that I've been having to do. So I have everything to put that car back together. I also want to paint the engine bay in that car. So the Charger needs to be done so I could do that, because I don't want to paint anything while the car is in here. And yeah, once the car is out of here, I could do this stuff with the FD, the Pulsar, the Durango, as well as the 3000 GT, finish painting all that stuff. And then after the 3000 GT, I think everything's painted on it. I'll probably take that car home as well. And then I'll have more room down here, which will be really nice. So let's see. Do you still have the mini project? I do have the mini project, but like I've said before, the guy was supposed to get me a title and a bunch of other parts for it, and he never ended up doing that. So I'm kind of stuck with a car that I'm not sure what I want to do with, because I can't register it because I don't have a title. He kept like the inner wheel well that has the VIN number. The engine that I have isn't the engine out of the car. It's like a race engine. It has a different VIN number on it. So I think at this point, the only thing I could use the car for is like a pit car or something like that at the racetrack, kind of like a golf cart. And it might end up, you know, that might be what I end up doing with it. But right now, it's really not high on my priority list. Let's see. I wish y'all were together for real, but a good friend is better than none. Yeah. I mean, it's hard finding good friends to actually, that actually are going to be a friend. Think first. Okay. I had to do the same thing, sadly. Some people are out to gain off of you. I have a triangle of good friends, a circle is overrated. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just every time I see people with like a bunch of friends, I mean, it's cool, but are any of them ever going to like help you if you need it kind of thing. So trade my Mazda 3 for your Hellcat. Sounds like a Facebook marketplace request. The charger the guy dropped off to get fixed. The Magnum. Yeah, it's still here. It's outside, and he's actually outside, kind of working on some stuff. But hopefully, the transmission comes tomorrow, so we can get it in the car, and finally, hopefully, it fires up. I mean, there isn't much that could prevent it from firing up besides the transmission, because the weird thing with Dodges is if there's like a catastrophic failure in the transmission, usually the ECM sees that, and then it makes it so it doesn't start because it doesn't want to cause any more damage. The only thing I'm worried about is we might end up having to tow the car over to the dealership to have them reset the ECU maybe. I'm not 100% sure on it because it might have put the ECU in like a kind of like a, not like a limp mode, but maybe like some weird thing. I saw that on this recent YouTuber's video where he was testing a new Hornet. He tried to use the all-wheel drive system, blew the transfer case in it, or the transmission or something, and then the car wouldn't do anything. It wouldn't turn on, it wouldn't move. Like he was just like screwed. So um, yeah, it's I hope it starts. I hope everything is, and I think it will. I don't think there's going to be any issues. Um, let's see. What's the most unusual car that you'd like to own that nobody talks about? I don't know. There's when I was in Tucson, that little Nissan minivan was really cool. If I could find a 5-speed manual all-wheel drive version of one of those that's decent condition. I mean, that one was at the U-Pull yard, but it had no dents on it. The interior was almost immaculate, um, and it had no rust. So if I could find something like similar to that, it doesn't have to be like super perfect, but I mean nothing that's wrecked or an automatic or anything like that. And it has to be all-wheel drive, or I would have just bought that front-wheel drive one because it's just kind of like a cool, unique, unusual car that I at that point I didn't even know existed. Another car that I wouldn't mind having is down at the tow yard, which I might actually buy this week. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to do it, but I think it's like a 60s Cadillac Hearst that was driven down there. It was parked, and that was 40 years ago. So, and it's full of like, the whole thing is like full of like a house full of just like stuff from like 40 years ago. So, I'm not 100% sure. He said it weighs a lot. He said if he moves it, he might have to pick it up with a rollback because his forks, his loader isn't really happy when he lifts it. Plus, I really wouldn't want him to damage it because one of the fenders is kind of hit a little bit, but other than that, the rest of the car is almost perfect, other than like not having any paint. And it'd just be kind of cool. I'm not sure what I put in it, but I think it'd just be kind of interesting. How's it going, Dave? Not bad. How about you? Let's see. Yeah, some people are just funny that way. And when they're done, they toss people away like an old toy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen that happen before. Let's see, some friends are more family than blood. Getting a paint booth soon. I want to get a paint booth. The only issue is I don't want to put a paint booth in the junkyard shop. So what I'm thinking about doing is the market here and the house prices and everything has it started to crash. And all the weed dispensaries and all the weed stuff has also taken a big hit. So all the buildings that they built to grow weed, store weed, all that land, they've pretty much been sitting on it, I think, for 2 or 3 years now. And I think the time has finally come because some of the stuff that I saw that was listed for like 1.2 million, which was way overpriced, has now come down to like 325,000. So I think it's going to continue to plummet. But most of those buildings have been vacant for 3 years, and a lot of them were just used for storage. So they don't have any electricity. Some of them don't even have concrete floors. But if something comes up, I'm going to buy it because I want to build a house shop, or if I could find some of those buildings are pretty big. I saw one that was like a 60 by 100, which is almost exactly what I want. But yeah, I think the time's getting close for the right pickings. But yeah, then I'll be more comfortable installing a paint booth. I don't want to install a paint booth in here. I don't own the building. You have to drill holes in the roof. It's just kind of a pain. It's not something I want to do. Then when I move, I'm gonna have to pull it down. It's just kind of a nightmare. And doing that, if I was planning on staying here for like 10 years, 100% I'd do it. But since I know I'm probably going to be here maybe another year at the most, I'm not going to do it because I'm going to put it up, maybe spray, a few cars in it, and then have to tear it back down, which, yeah, and then fix the hole in the roof from the vent and everything. So I just want to build like a dedicated spot, have a paint booth, and pretty much just have like in that room, it's like big enough to maybe store a couple cars and the paint booth, and that's it. And then I'll have like something about the similar size next to it that's just dedicated to body work, and the same thing for like this. Probably like 3 shops that are this size. That's like my work on shop. So it just keeps everything clean, and then I'll have like a clean shop for all the done stuff or stuff that's waiting, that's not gonna get dirty, not gonna, stuff's not gonna be worked on, kind of like the other shop, the other part of the shop behind me. So then I don't have a bunch of, overspray on stuff. I don't have to worry about body filler dust when I'm sanding. Don't have to worry about sparks flying on stuff. It'll be nice. I can't wait. Let's see. What happened to the Hellcat Durango? The Hellcat Durango's in there. The issue I'm having with it is getting another gallon of paint. So, like I've said before, I got a gallon of paint, which is 2 gallons of sprayable paint. But I heard from a local body shop that the companies that mix the paint or provide the toners can't find certain materials, so they're substituting. And it's pretty much exactly the issue that I had. He said that it takes twice as many coats, or even sometimes triple or quadruple the coats to get the same amount of coverage that you would before. So that's exactly what happened with the Durango. Even though it's a green, the blue on the Charger is the same paint. Just it's just blue. But yeah, I think I'm gonna get another gallon of the paint whenever they can get the toner to mix it. The same thing with the color for the Pulsar, and then I can get that thing busted out. I also want to paint the engine bay in the inside of the Durango, but like I said, I don't want to paint anything until the Charger's out of here, which should be pretty soon, and then I could get the Durango busted out. then I could put all the interior that I have for the Durango. I pretty much bought all brand new stuff for the interior. I have the dash, still waiting on 2 wiring harnesses, but I have the seat stuff. I have all the carpets, all brand new carpets, and a bunch of other stuff. Let's see. I own a 91 Taurus Show 212A package. That was my first car. I'm looking forward to refurbishing it. It's all original. That's cool. Let's see. Dave, can you look at an old school British build like a 90s TVR? They are solid. Maybe eventually. That could be something I'd do. I really want to get a TR6 Triumph. I think that would be a cool car. And then, put a different engine in it and maybe do some suspension mods and some different wheels and, put my little touch on it. But I really like how the TR6s look, especially with the hardtop. Turn the Mini into a burnout car and go to Cletus and Cars, get your name out there more. Let's see. Yeah, so yeah, I mean there's a bunch of stuff that I can't wait to get done. I mean, we'll do this. Everybody likes to see stuff, so I want to get the VR4 done. This is one thing I really want to get done, and it's so close. I just literally need to paint 2 side skirts. I have the cladding over here painted already. I have all the trim up there painted. It's just the side skirts. I have the door handles and all that stuff already painted. So it's very close. I don't know. I wish I would have never. Stupid. Shut up. I wish I would have never tried the dustless blasting, because that's really what set me back so long on the car, and then having to try to find a side skirt. The side skirt issue wasn't because of the dustless blasting, but it took me a long time to find a pair of new doors, a pair of new fenders, a good hood that wasn't like completely destroyed. But for the most part, she is pretty close. I just need to get the Charger out of here. Like, if I could get all the drivetrain in the Charger and get the fuel tank done, get that in there, get the brake lines in, and then have the drive shaft in. But at that point, it's going to run and drive, so there's no reason to take it home not running and driving. So I might as well just drive it home. But yeah, once it's running and driving, I'm going to be really, really stoked. I cannot wait to actually have it as a running and driving car. I cannot. It's going to be crazy. Let's see. View message. This message was held for review. No, it doesn't let me see it. I don't know. Whatever. So, hey Dave, always great to see you live. Thanks, Patrick. I remember you were looking for a 3D scanner for the Magnum wing. Any update on that? Also, the updates on the dash. So, I actually 3D scanned the wing and the dash, but I ordered all this stuff to build a new computer, and I've been busy with other stuff, so I haven't put the computer together. But I need the computer because the dash file is so large to be able to edit it. I need that computer built. So that will probably be a video soon, but I did have a video of 3D scanning the wing, the front air ducts, as well as the dash. And I pretty much just need to go into CAD, design all that stuff, and then I could start 3D printing some pieces to make sure everything's going to be good. Once I know it's good, then I'll send it off and have it either injection molded, or I'll have like I'll do like a casting mold or something like that. But same thing with the wing. Once I have the wing finalized, I'll send it off, and then Chad could print off like a mold or something, or cut out a mold out of foam, and then he'll probably. I'm thinking he still wants to produce them, but then I'll have the wing done, the dash done, and I want to also get those ducks done, which I think I'll probably do like probably not an injection mold, but if there's enough demand for them because it's going to make the car look so much more aggressive, then maybe if there's enough demand, I'll make an injection mold. But then you have to modify your bumper support, and I don't want to be really liable for people cutting a piece out of their bumper support. But I was also thinking about making aluminum front bumper support to kind of save some weight, which it's not going to save a ton of weight, but it doesn't need to be as thick as it is. It just pretty much needs to. Then I can mount some more stuff. I'm not really saving weight. I'm just I need to mount something else, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Greetings from New Zealand. Cheers, Patrick. Thanks, Patrick. Super work on the Celica. Did you consider the NBA? You reach over the Celica roof like it was ridiculous. Yeah, so no, I tried out. It was funny. I like tried out for high school basketball, and the the coach that was at our high school was only looking for like already professional basketball players. So I was just like, okay, and I wasn't that good, so I was just like, whatever. So then I did computers, learned how to code, and yeah, then got into cars. So I don't know. I would rather not play. I really don't like playing sports. It's I like snowboarding. That's fun. I like doing stuff like that. Um, I wakeboarded. I haven't snowboarded or wakeboarded probably at least 5 years. But yeah, I need to get on some of that stuff. I haven't done it in a long time. I also have like this big paddle board, but it's like so big that it's too big to like haul in my truck. So that would be fun to do. Maybe do that some this summer. I'm gonna get some kayak racks for the roof of my Jeep. So hopefully I could like mount that paddle board up there. Cool trucks at the junkyard with Charlie. Yeah, I mean all kinds of cool stuff that day. He said his friend was going to get that wide body set up for that Ranger, but I hope he did because it was like a really nice kit. Like the fiberglass, I was very surprised at how good that fiberglass was on that kit. But it had to have been like a $2,000 to $4,000 flare kit. I mean, that it was like all fenders. Um, yeah, it had all the brackets. I mean, it was like somebody got lucky, whoever got that. Have you decided on the interior color? No, I have not decided on the interior color. I'm still between red and caramel. Um, Dave, make some mods to the F450. Nice truck you have. Um, so the truck's already deleted and tuned. The only thing I haven't done to it is put wheels on it um, or lowered it. So I've been thinking about maybe doing like a single rear wheel conversion that I've seen. They use like the military. I'm not sure exactly which wheels they are, but like I think they're like the Humvee wheels. They're like 10 lug, but it turns it to a single rear wheel. Then it has like some hydraulic, like pretty trick suspension, and it also lifts it. So it looks like then you have like wider front fenders that you put on it. You leave the dually rears, and it makes like this kind of like overlander build. But let's see. Let's see. Dave, how is the house workshop hunt going? It's getting to the time, the point where the pickings are going to be ripe because everything around here has started to already go down. The one thing I did notice, so I bought two burnt down trucks, diesel trucks. I think the first one is like a 2017 Ram crew cab Cummins with a 6.7 in it. I think it has that. I think it has a newer automatic transmission in it. I haven't torn anything off. I haven't torn it apart yet, but there's been a lot of cars around here that have been getting lit on fire, and I think it's because people can't make their payments. So because there's literally like 20, a whole row of like 20 cars that are like burnt down to the ground. It's yeah, it, it's something. I think it's time. So yeah, I think everything's going to kind of crash, and I've been saying this for a while, but it's been almost like it's been on hold because around here you weren't able to kick people out if they weren't paying rent, and all this crazy stuff was going on. But now they finally, that whatever thing they passed finally got kicked out or expired, and now everybody's getting kicked out of their apartments, and all their houses I think are going to start getting finally foreclosed on, and everybody can't pay their car payments, so they're lighting their cars on fire. And I've seen, daily, there's the tow yard across the street, and they tow in like at least 20 repos a day. So I think it's time. I think I'll be able to get 40, 60 acres, either something with a decent building on it, or something that I could actually build a nice shop on. And then at that point, the buildings have already started to come down. The ones that you buy, the 60 by 80, 60 by 100s, that they were wanting like $300,000 for 2 years ago. They can't give them away now, and they have a bunch of them. So I think I'll be able to get like a 60 by 150 for around maybe 120,000 dollars, which will be nice. And then get some land, maybe 40 or 60 acres, throw it up, pour a big concrete slab, and probably build. I want to build the house part of the shop on like the second floor, so then I can park cars underneath it, and then it's not really taking up any floor space, which will be really nice. And then I'll pretty much have windows on the end side of it, which might be like the kitchen and the living room, and then I'll view into like the clean shop where I have cars that are done, kind of like, none of these cars are done in here, but um, kind of like in here I'll have a few four posts and lifts in it, and there'll be something like this, but it just won't be a bunch of cars that are unfinished. The VR4 will be done soon. So, plus the LS240 over there, that thing is really close to being running and driving. I just need to get a Holly Terminator X for it, and then that car will run and drive. Then I could paint it, and for the most part, it just needs some work on the quarter panel in the back, and that'll be good to go. The FD, I just need to throw the built 13B back in it, and I want to paint the engine bay. I really don't need to paint the engine bay, but it just has like all these little blemishes and stuff, and it's not shiny. It's just like it's just factory, but I want it to be nice and shiny like the rest of the car. So what I'm going to do is strip everything out of it, spray it. Going to spray it the same color, brilliant black, and then I could put everything back in here. I have the ABS deleted. I could put the Haltech in it. I want to also probably powder coat or maybe Cerakote the subframe. The subframe actually looks really nice. It's just, just kind of grungy from age and stuff like that. That sway bar, that's red. I believe that's a Mazda Speed sway bar. I'll probably blast that and Cerakote it black just so everything's nice and clean. And I really don't like when a bunch of stuff is like different colors, especially, I don't mind the Monoflex Tanes being a different color, but I think what I'm going to do is all these aluminum arms, if I don't put aftermarket ones, I'm going to Cerakote them in that black just so they're nice and clean and they never corrode again, and they'll just always look clean. But yeah, and then I'm going to reroute a bunch of stuff so there isn't, this tube up here for the vacuum. My new intake manifold, I'm not going to need that. It's just going to come off here and go there. But then the 240Z and the Pulsar, and then this will be out of here. And I mean, the Durango too is pretty close to being done. If I just got that other gallon of paint, I want to paint the engine bay same color and the interior the same color, so it's not mismatched, even though you'll never see it. So then it'll just look like the outside of the Durango. Let's see. Let's see. Are you going to powder coat the engine blue after you get it up and running? It will really make it look good. So what I plan on doing with the block, not the one that's in the car, because the engine that's in the car is eventually going to go back in the Durango, but I'm going to get an engine, a 426, and I have the stuff from Cerakote. I think it's, yeah, this navy blue right here. So this navy blue is the color that I'm going to do the valve covers in the block. Or I might just do the block like this, and I might do the valve covers the same color as the car. But I think that'll look really good. Or I have this blue right here. Oh no, that's graphite black. Okay, what brand is good to use for shocks on a Scion SB? Will be replacing them soon. Need help? Like just stock replacements or like coilovers? I never realized how tall you are until I saw you next to Chris. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty tall. I mean, what's your ideal workshop size? So I really like the size of the shop in here. Just this as a workshop. Like I think this is 20 by 60. Yeah, 20 by 60. It's like a perfect workshop size. But the issue is then you want to store cars. So you almost need something that's nice as a workshop. So you don't have, you don't need a bunch of space to work on something. You just want enough, especially if you're going to like heat it. And then if you have AC and you want to cool it, because if you're cooling a whole, 60 by 150 building, it's going to kill you. But if you're only cooling the parts that you're in, it's going to be great. So, yeah, I think that's going to be good. I think what I plan on doing is having 3 of those, one for body work, one for just working on cars, and then like a paint shop, and then something that's a little bit bigger than the shop that's in here, and then probably like a 1,500 square foot house, because I don't need it to be super huge. Maybe at the most 2,000, but and that'll all be on the second floor, which won't take up a bunch of space. And I'm not sure if I'm going to do it on like the edge or on like one end. So Um, yeah, I don't know. It's something I have to just like kind of work, start working with, and once I get the building up, kind of planning for it. I'm glad I just paid off my Jetta. I don't want to do any car payments again for a while. Used vehicles are insane. Yes. What's up, buddy? Not much. What's going on? Just made it. Thanks. Should start a business doing chemical baths for vehicles that strip them bare. Would be cool. So the only issue that I heard with like stripping cars with chemicals is it removes a few mils of the metal as it strips, and as you dip it more and more, it removes more and more mils of that thin metal that's already thin. Um, I'm not saying that sanding doesn't do the same, but then you're also going to sand it, so you might as well fix everything and then just sand it. I mean, there's certain spots that you need a chemical bath and clean, but um, I don't know. For the most part, to me, it's just kind of scary to do. That'll be a fire color. I think you guys are going to be pretty excited when you see what color I'm going to paint the Pulsar GTIR. I was planning on painting this like a red. I was almost thinking about doing it in Soul Red, but then I'm going to paint the FC Soul Red. So I don't like having cars that are similar colors or like the same exact color. So yeah, I have a really good color for this. And then the color is going to match with the wheels that I've had for it. And you guys have already seen my OZs for it. These things are nice. And then I need to mess with this thing. This thing is pretty rust free. I need to replace the quarters on it because it does have stuff going on down there, and the floors maybe as well. There's a hole along there, and I think all that, I don't think it had that much rust before, but I think what happened was I had it in that semi trailer and there was like humidity and it just rusted it more and more. So I'll fix all that. This car, the 240Z, this is a 72 or a 71. I can't remember. I'd have to look at the title, but I think I'm going to repaint this the original color. I'm not 100% sure yet because this whole time I've had the car, I've wanted to paint it Patriot Blue, and I have a gallon of Patriot Blue, but I don't know. I believe the color is Mercury Silver. You can see it in here. But the issue is if I paint it silver, I might as well paint it the Z-Tune silver that's on the R34 GTR. And I'm not sure about these wheels. I want to go bigger, but I really do like this old school wheel. I don't even know what brand these are, but I got these. I forgot where I got them. They didn't come on the car. I got them, and the offset is like not bad for just like some random wheels that I picked up, and they had like a Z emblem on them too. So I don't know. Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing?
I'm about to clean out this battery. It's a little rusty, so I want to get it cleaned up.
Yeah? You came down from Detroit.
Yeah.
You finished up your car.
Yes, sir.
It's getting close. Almost done with the wiring.
You're trying, man.
Yeah, I need that tranny. Hopefully it comes tomorrow.
Yeah. I need to be here tomorrow. Hopefully that mirror, driver mirror will be here too.
this thing, everything is stripped out of it right now. So I could get the wiring harness out. The dash needs to come out because the wire for the gas pedal goes behind the HVAC, and then there's a bunch of wiring that needs to be messed with. You can see some stuff going on right there, but yeah, I got the
Live?
live. Got the
No.
fin mounted. It's getting close. Yeah, and then this in here.
Yeah, I just took them off to clean it up.
Yeah, it's not bad. A lot cleaner than it was yesterday. Yeah, I mean, I hope that tranny comes tomorrow. So, yeah, we're almost at an hour. How's the wiring coming with the wagon? The wiring on the Hellcat Magnum is 95% done. All I need to do is finish up the ABS pump stuff once I put the brake lines in, and then I can start getting everything done past the engine bay, and all that stuff is like pretty much there. And then I could start adding, like, plug the battery in, actually have the power cables ran from the engine to the battery, and then everything will power up with the ECU, and then I could actually see if I'm going to have any issues and try to key it on, and then maybe even try to start it with some starting fluid or something, see if it cranks over, and see if the display and everything powers up. I don't think I'll have any issues, but there's always that slight chance when you do that much wiring that you might have to troubleshoot some finicky issue, which hopefully isn't that big of a deal. Yeah, I hope his car is done soon too, because where his car's sitting, I want to put the hearse. So, and it's going to take up like that whole row right there. It's so big. It's like 40 feet long. It's so long. See, looking forward to a video with that guy's Magnum. Yeah, that video should be up Friday. I'm hoping Friday, as long as we don't run into any issues. The only thing I think that might happen is we might have to take it over to the dealership after everything's back in the car to have them, like, maybe reflash the ECM or do something with the ECM to get it out of like blown up tranny mode. So I know you have to do something once it gets into that mode, but I'm not 100% sure if it's going to take going to the dealership. Maybe I can do it with my scan tool, but if not, as long as everything keys on, and I think we'll be good to go. Exciting videos coming. Yeah, I mean, it's I have some stuff coming. So I have some stuff with the Hellcat Magnum. I also did a video with Sean last week, and I have a junkyard tour video from the tow yard, which I think a lot of people are going to be very excited about, because that dude's been towing cars and not selling anything since like the 40s. So there's all kinds of rare muscle cars in that tow yard, and I think I'm going to start buying them up. I think it's a 427 Jetfire that's out there. I'm probably going to buy that. There's also a Ford two-door. I forgot what it's called, but I'm not sure if it's a Fury. Is that a Fury Ford? But it has the 429 in it, which is a huge engine. But yeah, there's just so much stuff out there that's just rotting away. And if somebody doesn't buy it, it's just going to get crushed. And that's sad. Plus, there's like I mean, there's so many cars. I don't have enough money to buy them all. It's like there's like 7,000 cars out there, and there's a lot of like there's old pickup trucks, F1s, like Chevy trucks. There's like this wood panel thing that all the wood is rotted off of it, but like just like the floor pan. I think it's like I don't think it's a Woody, but it might be. I need to look up a picture now that I think about it. Um, yeah, the hearse is cool. I mean, the hearse is almost immaculate. I mean, it's been sandblasted, so it doesn't have any paint on the roof, but all the glass is there. Um, yeah, I think I'll start right up after I put like fuel in a jug, put an electric fuel pump going to it, maybe clean some stuff out with the carburetor. I think she might fire up, but um, yeah, I can't wait to try it. I I really I don't want to buy it. I do want to buy it, but it's just so big. It's just such a big car. But yeah, I'll have some good videos. Hopefully they're good. I hope you guys enjoy them. Um, when I was out at Sarah's, I really like how she edits videos, and I just like want to do better at editing videos, but at the same time constraints is a big issue. So I'm gonna try to start getting better at editing videos so it flows a little bit better. Just just because I liked how her videos kind of went and everything, watching them was enjoyable. And I think another thing with her videos is there's multiple people there. It's fun, and most of the time I'm by myself. So um, maybe I need to get like an angel to like an assistant or something to help me out. But we'll see what happens. I mean, was surprised you two are friends. Yeah, I mean, been friends a long time, but it's been an hour. I need to go home, finish editing a video, and I'm gonna end this live stream here. If you guys like these, just let me know in the comments. But tomorrow there'll be a video out, and see you guys next Sunday.